You know how there's people that learn from their mistakes? I mean, they screw up and they don't make that same mistake again, or at least they try not to. And then there's most of us who unfortunately fall in the trap of making the same mistake more than once. In chapter 20 of Genesis, Abraham does this. He makes the same mistake again. So Abraham moves to this place called Gerar. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And here Abraham tells everyone that Sarah is his sister. Again. And if you haven't watched my video of Genesis chapter 12 called A Leap of Faith, you should go watch it, because Abraham did the same thing when he was in Egypt. And once again, here he was in Gerar, I don't know how to say that, making the same mistake, saying that Sarah was his sister. Sarah must have been a super stunning and beautiful woman, because everyone liked her. In Egypt, Pharaoh wanted her as a wife, and now in this place, the king named Abimelech took her. He said, I want this lady as my wife. And she was old, okay? She was like in her 80s, probably almost 90 years old, and she was still breaking some hearts. So King Abimelech takes Sarah into his palace, and before they get to do anything suspicious, God comes to Abimelech in a dream. And in this dream, God tells Abimelech, what do you think you are doing? That woman you have right there, that cute little Sarah, yeah, she's married. And now you either give her back, or you and all of your family are just gonna die. And Abimelech tells God in the dream, God, I'm sorry, I didn't know. Abraham lied to me. Like, how was I supposed to know she was married? And so Abimelech's house was cursed with infertility. No one could have children. But that morning when Abimelech wakes up, he calls Abraham, and Abimelech is pissed, okay? And Abimelech says, why do you do this to me? And Abraham gives 3 reasons why. Here's Abraham's reasoning for lying. Number 1, he said, this place is godless. You guys are people that don't know God. I don't know what you guys are going to do to me. Number 2, he thought his wife was so hot that they would kill him to get her. And number 3, Abraham and Sarah were actually siblings. They literally came from the same dad, different mom. So this was like his little half-truth. And I think this wasn't weird back then, okay? He married his half-sisters. Not weird at all. So Abimelech is feeling so guilty that he gives Abraham cattle, sheep, land, a bunch of stuff in compensation for taking Sarah. And he also makes sure that Sarah's reputation is untouched. And so then Abraham prays, and the curse is lifted. That curse of infertility, done. And Abimelech is forgiven. So what do we learn from this? From Abraham messing up again? Well, Abraham is very clearly a human like us. We can fall for the same things. But instead of trusting God, Abraham decided to give in to fear, to lie, and even then, God protected him. God protected Sarah. And all Abraham had to do was just trust that God would be with him, that God would keep his promises. I can't emphasize that enough. God keeps his promises. And also, it's okay that we make mistakes. It's okay that we screw up again. Clearly, important men in the Bible like Abraham fell into that trap of committing the same mistake. But God likes when we repent and come before him and change our ways.